Hello and welcome to Music is Your Friend. Today we're gonna talk about In Flames' new album called I The Mask. Boo! For the second time in their career, In Flames have hired a really famous producer to produce their album. The producer for I The Mask is Howard Benson. He's a smart guy and he actually knows what he's doing. Among other things, I know that he actually produced POD's album called Satellite, and that one had like 3 really good songs, and it just, bursted onto the scene like a freight train. And the album actually still sounds amazing. Satellite, Alive, Youth of the Nation. And I don't know who actually got to call the shots on who's gonna mix or master the album, but they've done the right choice. Chris Lord-Alge and Ted Jensen. Which cars do you have? Oh, I have a Jaguar and a Maserati. In Flames is this band that kind of made a big transformation in their career, from being an old school death metal band to being a new school heavy metal kind of a band. I don't know. I actually prefer their newer career in comparison to their older career because I believe that they sound better. And it's not just the production values, I actually prefer them singing, even though Anders has a tough time singing. That being said, this album has probably Anders' best singing ever. This album kind of sounds a little bit Americanized, but that's not really a bad thing. But what I would like is for, their melodies to sound more European or more Swedish. Swedish hard rock and metal was actually amazing and still is. There are a bunch of Swedish artists that, helped create different genres of hard rock and metal. So I actually would like for them to invoke a little piece of that, tradition. But this is also kind of good. I think it's really good for In Flames to have sing-alongs. And sure, some of you are gonna say, no, I like the older material. Sure, I get it, but this just sounds better to me. And sing-alongs are great, and I don't care if you, consider bands that have sing-alongs to be, pussy. Or, I've heard some of these like idiots saying that singing is kind of for kids, Why? Because real men go. That's not even for kids, that's for little babies, okay? Tough, but deal with it. Anyway, In Flames has always been sort of introverted, so these lyrics that Anders kind of always has a tendency to write, they're actually quite emotional. So, if you scream them, you're like really in a troubled place. And if you sing them, the singer can sound really vulnerable. And that's not a bad thing. It's just the way the lyrics are. It's just that in the past, he always yelled and the vocal melodies weren't as relevant as they are today. Voices. Not bad, but there's nothing there. I The Mask. The song's a little bit boring. You could actually hear that the old crew is kind of missing from the band. The drummer is gone, the bass player is gone. Oh yeah, the second guitar player is gone. I really like Nicholas Engelin. As far as the new guys, the drummer and the bass player, I actually didn't hear them much on the album. The drums kind of sound really In Flames-ish to me. I really couldn't hear a lot of these bass parts on this album. They're just kind of pasted with the guitars, and it just all seems like one big mush of frequencies. I could only hear it in certain parts. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would lie if I would say that I wouldn't like for the bass to be a little bit more prominent. I like that Anders actually wants to sing, but he is kind of still not there. And then lo and behold, Call My Name. This is probably Anders Fridén's best singing ever. Don't care much about the song, as well as the next song on the album, which is called I Am Above. Follow Me. This is actually a decent song. You can actually hear Chris Lord-Alge's mix, and it sounds great. In Flames always had these really cool acoustic parts where they played different leads, harmonies, whatever. They always kind of sounded great, and they always kind of sounded really Swedish and precise. But on this album, you can actually hear the fret buzz. You can hear that the guitar, there's something wrong with it. Producers and guitar players actually want to avoid these things, but here they're actually right front and center. Even somebody that actually doesn't know anything about acoustic guitars can hear that there's something going on there. There's some rattling going on. which isn't normal, and I love that. And thanks to Chris Lord-Alge, you can actually hear it even better. So kudos to you. It actually fits with the whole In Flames, you know, I'm not perfect, you know, there's something broken inside of me feel to the songs, and then you have an acoustic guitar that also has something wrong with it, so great. This Is Our House. This is just infantile. I don't like the melodies, they're too generic, they're too standard. Again, I like Anders singing. When I hear him singing like this, I just think of the song Where the Dead Ships Dwell from Sounds of a Playground Fading, and I just keep thinking to myself, man, if he just like sang that song the way that he sings on this album, I mean, people would just go berserk on concerts. You know, they have a bunch of this older catalog that sounds amazing, but it's just that the vocals on them aren't quite there yet. But, you know, he has shown some real progress, and if he actually performed these songs the way that he performs these new songs, I mean, I would just love to see that in concert, and I would pay serious money to go see that. We Will Remember. The riff, the verses are actually quite cool. The chorus could actually be a little bit more inspired, but you know, this is still a decent song. I like the arrangement, and I do like the lyrics, because the lyrics kind of speak about them as a band. The riffs sound good, and you know, the middle part is actually not that great because it sounds a little bit too American, but all in all, this is not bad, and this is probably my favorite song on this album. In This Life, some decent vocals and seesaw kind of a tune. The melodies are fine, but they're just a little bit too IKEA-like. They're Americanized. And we need more Swedish stuff, okay? Lakes, forests, snow, Vikings, stuff like that. And I believe that, you know, the lyrics should be a little bit more adapted to the melodies or vice versa, so they actually pack more of punch. Burn, not bad. Just good old In Flames. Deep Inside, not a bad song, sounds a little bit more oriental. I like the melodies, I like the riffs, which also kind of sounds oriental, but the song could be a lot better. All the Pain, I like the mix on this song. The song sounds actually quite American, also not my kind of a deal, but the mix sounds great, and the song works. Stay With Me, I don't quite consider this song to be an In Flames song, you know, it just doesn't sound like them, but, you know, whatever. So yeah, I The Mask by In Flames, Music Is Your Friend rating, 24 out of 100. And that's really not that bad. In Flames have enough material in their catalog, and all they need is one good song on every album, and that's about it. I'm also gonna do an In Flames Worst Best Albums, so it's gonna cover the full span of their career, and depending on when you see this video, the video could be already out. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Please subscribe to my channel, like this channel, hit that notification bell icon. Me and the resident German are out of here. Adios, guys. Woo!